Welcome back to the channel. Imagine seeing Ice Age giants roam the earth again. Sounds wild, right? Well, what if I told you that one of the most iconic predators from the past, the dire wolf, is back? You might remember dire wolves from shows like Game of Thrones, where they were loyal companions to the Stark family. But these beasts weren't just fantasy. They were real, fierce predators that ruled Ice Age America over 10,000 years ago. Now, thanks to colossal biosciences, they're making a shocking comeback. Using ancient DNA, scientists have engineered 3 wolf pups, Romulus, Remus, and Khaleesi, with dire wolf traits. They're not exact clones, but they're the closest we've ever come to reviving this legendary beast. South today, we're counting down the top 10 extinct animals scientists are working to bring back. Stay tuned for number 1. The animal at number 1 is none other than the dire wolf, and its comeback is one of the most shocking scientific breakthroughs of our time. But before we get started, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe so you never miss out on our upcoming videos. Number 10. Cave lion, the OG cat daddy of the Ice Age. Forget Simba. The real king of the Ice Age was the cave lion, a colossal feline that stalked the icy plains of Europe, Asia, and North America. These bad boys were 10% bigger than today's lions and had the muscle mass of a bodybuilder who drinks protein shakes for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They roamed freely until around 12,000 years ago, before climate change and declining prey, aka their dinner buffet, wiped them out. Fast forward to now. Scientists in Siberia have found cave lion cubs perfectly preserved in permafrost, looking like they just finished a nap. Their DNA is shockingly intact, and researchers are considering cloning them using modern lions as surrogate mothers. Imagine your house cat, but 10 times bigger and ready to recreate the Lion King on steroids. If this revival happens, zoos might need moats, and you might need to rethink that laser pointer game. Number 9. Irish elk, when antlers go too far. The Irish elk was the deer equivalent of go big or go home. Standing over 7 feet tall at the shoulders and boasting antlers that stretched up to 12 feet across, this majestic creature roamed Europe and parts of Asia until about 7,700 years ago. Despite its name, it wasn't exclusive to Ireland, and it wasn't technically an elk either. It was more like the ultimate megadeer. Sadly, as forests replaced grasslands and nutrients like calcium and phosphorus became scarce, the Irish elk's over-the-top headgear turned into a bit of a problem. Carrying 2 bicycles worth of antlers probably wasn't great for survival. But today, scientists are exploring ways to bring this majestic beast back, using DNA found in well-preserved fossils pulled from peat bogs and Siberian tundra. Using CRISPR gene editing and selective breeding of close deer relatives, this beast might once again stride through the misty moors. Just imagine seeing one of these giants at a petting zoo. Better bring a stepladder to give it a pat. Number 8. Saber-Toothed Tiger, fangs, fur, and ferocity. The Saber-Toothed Tiger, also known as Smilodon, was basically nature's version of a muscle car with teeth. This prehistoric predator prowled North and South America and went extinct around 10,000 years ago, likely due to a combination of climate change and the disappearance of large prey. But let's face it, who wouldn't want a cat with giant curved fangs that could take down a mammoth for brunch? Now, researchers have found DNA from well-preserved Smilodon fossils in places like the La Brea tar pits in California, and they're seriously entertaining the idea of a comeback. The idea? Use gene editing and the DNA of modern big cats, think lions and tigers, to recreate a saber-toothed hybrid. Jurassic Park warned us about bringing back predators, but did we listen? Nope. And honestly, who wouldn't want to see this prehistoric beast return, just as long as it doesn't end up roaming around your neighborhood looking for a snack? Pro tip: keep the fridge stocked and the doors locked. Number 7. Woolly rhinoceros, When nature said, add more hair. Imagine a rhino crossed with a yeti. That's the woolly rhinoceros. This shaggy beast roamed Europe and northern Asia until about 10,000 years ago. Built for Ice Age conditions, it had thick fur and a horn that could have doubled as a snow shovel. Hunted by early humans and struggling with a warming planet, it eventually vanished. Now, thanks to frozen carcasses discovered in Siberia with intact DNA, scientists are working on bringing it back. The plan involves mixing its genes with those of the Sumatran rhino, using cloning and gene editing. If successful, we might see this prehistoric unicorn after a winter makeover. Number 6. Moa, Big Bird's gigantic cousin. Think Big Bird, but 12 feet tall, 500 pounds heavier, and living in ancient New Zealand. That's the moa, a flightless bird that was the original heavyweight champion of the bird world. These guys were wiped out around the 1400s after the arrival of Polynesian settlers, who found the moa incredibly tasty and unfortunately very easy to catch. Note to self, never evolve without natural predators. The entire moa family disappeared within 200 years, but not before leaving behind eggshells, feathers, and bones packed with usable DNA. Scientists are now exploring how to bring them back by gene editing the moa's DNA into its distant cousin, the emu. If successful, we might soon have these feathered skyscrapers roaming around again. Honestly, it's a perfect excuse to skip leg day. Just outrun a moa and call it cardio. Number 5. Great auk, the penguin that wasn't. The great auk was the penguin of the North Atlantic, except it wasn't technically a penguin, just a very stylish seabird that couldn't fly and waddled like it was late for brunch. These birds were expert divers and lived in colonies from Canada to Iceland. But by the mid-1800s, they were hunted to extinction for their feathers, meat, and eggs. Basically, they were the buffet special of the 18th century. Now, scientists at Revive and Restore are working on editing the DNA of the razorbill, the great auk's closest living relative, using gene editing tools to reinsert the great auk's genes. If all goes to plan, we may see these tuxedoed torpedoes dive into the ocean once again, just in time for them to become the next social media sensation. Move over, penguins. The great auk is ready for its comeback tour. Number 4. Woolly Mammoth, the fuzzy mammal making a comeback. The woolly mammoth, arguably the headliner of all extinct animals. These shaggy giants roamed the earth during the Ice Age, from Europe to Siberia to North America, until about 4,000 years ago. That's right, mammoths were still around when the pyramids were being built. Climate change and human hunting likely sealed their fate, but luckily for us, they left behind perfectly preserved bodies in Siberian permafrost. Enter George Church and the folks at Colossal Biosciences, who are using CRISPR gene editing technology to combine mammoth DNA with Asian elephants, their closest living relatives. The goal? A mammophant, part mammoth, part elephant, designed to thrive in the Arctic. Beyond looking absolutely majestic, these mammoths could help slow climate change by transforming tundra back into grasslands. Let's just hope they don't develop a taste for Wi-Fi and wander into urban areas. Because let's be real, who's going to tell a 6-ton elephant it's not welcome? Number 3. Tasmanian Tiger, the marsupial that deserved better. The Tasmanian tiger, or thylacine, wasn't a tiger at all. It was a striped marsupial with the face of a dog, the body of a kangaroo, and the ability to terrify sheep. It was native to mainland Australia and Tasmania, and survived until the 1930s, when overhunting and habitat loss pushed it to extinction. The last known thylacine died in captivity in 1936 at Hobart Zoo. But now, scientists from Australia and the U.S. are working on de-extinction using preserved DNA and the help of the numbat and dunnart, its marsupial cousins. Through CRISPR and stem cell technologies, we may soon see this misunderstood beast back in the Aussie wilderness. Crocodile Dundee might need a sequel for this one. That's not a tiger. That's a tiger. Number 2. Dodo, the bird that couldn't catch a break. The dodo is perhaps the most famous poster child for extinction. Native to Mauritius, this chubby, flightless bird disappeared in the late 1600s, just decades after it was discovered. With no natural predators for millions of years, it wasn't exactly equipped to handle hungry sailors, rats, and invasive species. It didn't help that the dodo had zero fear of humans. Imagine waddling up to your predator like, "Sup?" That didn't go well. But scientists have recently sequenced the full dodo genome and are exploring de-extinction by editing the DNA of the Nicobar pigeon. If successful, the dodo might return to the forests of Mauritius, hopefully this time with a bit more street smarts and less blind trust in bipeds. Number 1. Dire wolf. Back from extinction? The wait is over. The dire wolf is back. Once the apex predators of Ice Age America, dire wolves, Enochion roamed vast territories until their extinction approximately 12,500 years ago. These formidable canines were larger and more robust than today's gray wolves, with powerful jaws adapted for hunting large prey. In a groundbreaking development, Colossal Biosciences, a Dallas-based biotech company, announced the birth of 3 genetically engineered pups, Romulus, Remus, and Khaleesi, designed to exhibit traits of the extinct dire wolf. By analyzing DNA from ancient dire wolf fossils, scientists identified key genetic differences and edited 20 genes in gray wolves to instill dire wolf characteristics. The embryos were implanted into surrogate dogs, resulting in the birth of these pups, who now reside in a secure ecological preserve. While these pups are not exact replicas of their extinct ancestors, they represent a significant step in de-extinction efforts. Colossal emphasizes that the goal is to restore lost ecological functions rather than recreate exact genetic copies. However, some experts caution that these animals are genetically modified gray wolves rather than true dire wolves, highlighting the complexities and ethical considerations of de-extinction science. So, this all for today. Did any of these amazing animals blow your mind? Smash that like button if you're as fascinated as we are by these epic revivals, and drop a comment. Which of these extinct legends do you think deserves the ultimate comeback? And be honest, which one would you love to see roam the earth again? If you're into exploring nature's wild side, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you never miss another jaw-dropping adventure. Thanks for hanging out with us. Stay curious, stay wild, and we'll catch you in the next one.